Well, hello everyone. This is Tim from TribeFan879, and for most of you, you've been waiting a while for my next video. Well, I have compiled all the stats. Now these are for 162 games rather than the 163 that the Rockies did play. And also at the end of the video, I will be announcing my next projects. So let's get started. Let's start with the pitching. We'll start with the starters. Tyler Anderson. In the real season, 7-9 in 176 innings, with 164 strikeouts and a 4.55 ERA. In the replay, 12-11 in 168 and 2/3 innings pitched, a 4.53 ERA and 148 Ks. Next is, I mispronounce this guy's name every time. It's Herman Marquez instead of Herman Marquez. My apologies. In the real life, he was 14-10 with 191 in the third innings pitched, 221 strikeouts, and a 3.76 ERA. In the replay, he was 11-9 with 186 innings pitched, 204 strikeouts, with a 4.65 ERA. I will now go to John Gray. In the real season, he was 12-9 with 172 in the third innings pitched, 183 strikeouts, with a 5.12 ERA. In the replay, he was 12-12 in 167 and 2/3 innings pitched, 162 strikeouts, and a 6.23 ERA. Now we'll go to Chad Bettis in starting and relieving duties. 5-2 with real season was 5-2, 120 in the third innings pitched, 80 strikeouts, and a 5.01 ERA. In the replay, he was 5-6, 109 innings pitched, 63 strikeouts, and a 6.94 ERA. Antonio Senzatella, this is really bad. In the real season, he was 6-6, starting and relieving, 90.1 innings pitched, the third innings pitched, 44 earned runs, and a 4.38 ERA. In the replay, he was 1-7 in 77 and 2/3 innings, 48 earned runs, and a 5.56 ERA. And the last of the starters is Kyle Freeland. He was only a starter in the real season, 202 in the third innings pitched, 173 strikeouts, and a 2.85 ERA. He unfortunately was not so good in the replay. 11-9 in 196 in the third innings pitched, 158 strikeouts, and a 4.17 ERA. All right, and we'll get started on the relievers. We'll start with the closer, Wade Davis. In the real season, 69 appearances, a 3-6 record with 43 saves and 65 in the third innings pitched and a 4.13 ERA. In the replay, unfortunately, the games weren't as close, so not as many appearances. 49 in 44 in the third innings pitched. He had 5 blown saves, 31 saves, and a 4.47 ERA. We'll go next to Seung-Won Oh. The real season, 2-0 in 25 appearances with 1 save, 21 in the third innings pitched with a 2.53 ERA. In my replay, 2-0 in 24 appearances, had 2 saves. I must have used a lot less. 24 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, and a 1.50 ERA. All right, we'll go with Harrison Musgrave. This is sadly one of I way overused them. In 34 appearances in the real season, 43 in the third innings pitched with a 4.57 ERA. I used him for 53 appearances and 60 in the third innings pitched with a 1-3 record and a 6.86 ERA. Excuse me a second, I'll pull up what Musgrave's real record was. And Musgrave's real record was 2-3, so it's a little over on the appearances. Chris Rusan, another one I way overused. In the real season, 49 appearances, 54 and 2/3 innings pitched, a 2-3 record with a 6.09 ERA. In the replay, 57 appearances with a 2-1 record, 65 innings pitched, and a 4.23 ERA. Scott Oberg, thankfully overused him in innings, but underused him in appearances. In the real season, 56 appearances, with an 8-1 record, 58 2/3 innings pitched with a 2.45 ERA. In the replay, 53 appearances, 0-2 record, 61 innings pitched with a 3.24 ERA. Thankfully, Brian Shaw was pretty close. In the real season, 61 appearances, 4-6 record, 54 2/3 innings pitched with a 5.93 ERA. In the replay, 1-3 with 60 appearances, 56 innings pitched with a 5.91 ERA. And Jake McGee, probably one of my biggest overuses. Let's see here. In the replay, he was, or sorry, wait a minute. Okay. In the real season, 60 appearances, 2-4, 50 1/3 innings pitched with a 6.62 ERA. I way overused him in the replay. 75 appearances with a 3-2 record, 69 innings pitched, and a 4.95 ERA. All right, and now we'll start. We'll go with the more used relievers, and then we'll go into the ones that didn't appear all that much. Adam Ottavino in the real season, 75 appearances, 6-4 record with 6 saves, 77 2/3 innings pitched with a 2.43 ERA. In the replay, 75 appearances, 76 2/3 innings pitched, 5-1 record with 3 saves, 1 blown save, and a 3.76 ERA. All right, now we'll start getting into the lower appearances. Mike Dunn pitched from March 29th to July 3rd. Season, 25 appearances, 17 innings pitched, 17 earned runs with a 9 ERA. The real season. The replay, 25 appearances, 16 1/3 innings pitched, 18 earned runs with a 9.92 ERA. Let's see here. Yency Almonte, 14. The real season, 14 appearances, 14 2/3 innings pitched with a 1.84 ERA. Replay went a little over with no record in the real season. And the replay, 2-0 with 17 appearances, 22 1/3 innings pitched with a 4.84 ERA. Let's see. Brooks Pounders played from April 24th to June 26th. Real season, 14 appearances, 15 1/3 innings pitched with a 7.63 ERA. I gave him a little more appearances, but thankfully kept him under the innings limit. 20 appearances, and in the real season he was 0-1. In the replay, 0-2 in 20 appearances with 14 2/3 innings pitched with a 7.36 ERA. Jeff Hoffman in 5 relief appearances and 1 start. In 6 appearances in the real season, no record with a 9.35 ERA and 8 2/3 innings pitched. In the replay, 6 appearances in 10 innings pitched with a 6.30 ERA. All right, and the last 3 relievers are Sam Howard, Jerry Vasto, and actually no, we have and DJ Johnson. Howard. In the replay, 3 appearances, 3 1/3 innings pitched with no ERA. In the real season, 4 appearances, 4 innings pitched with a 2.25 ERA. Jerry Vasto in the real season, 1 appearance, 2/3 of an inning with a 40.5 ERA, gave up 3 earned runs. I used him for 2 appearances, 1 1/3 innings pitched with no ERA. And DJ Johnson, a September call-up, in the real season, 7 appearances in 6 1/3 innings pitched with a 4.26 ERA. In my replay, 5 appearances, 5 1/3 innings pitched with a 6.75 ERA. And now to the hitters, which, okay, I could probably stand to use a bit more, but I only do home runs and RBIs. And once again, these are for 162 games played because my replay didn't have that much. We'll just use the starting lineup from the last game and then work on the bench. All right, the leadoff hitter was Charlie Blackmon in the real season in 162 games, 29 home runs and 70 RBIs. In the replay, 29 home runs and 71 RBIs. For DJ LeMahieu, for the season, real season, 15 home runs and 62 RBIs. In the replay, 13 home runs and 52 RBIs. David Dahl, who was a spotty call-up in the real season, and then played in September, 16 home runs and 48 RBIs. In my replay, 15 home runs and 40 RBIs. And now for the meat of the order, Nolan Arenado in the real season, 37 home runs and 109 RBIs. In my replay, 40 home runs and 101 RBIs. Trevor Story in the real season, 36 home runs and 107 RBIs. In my replay, 33 home runs and 111 RBIs. Carlos Gonzalez in the real season, 16 home runs and 84 RBIs. In my replay, 16 home runs and 69 RBIs. Ian Desmond, 22 home runs and 88 RBIs in the real season. In my replay, 22 home runs and 70 RBIs. And Tony Wolters, 3 home runs and 27 RBIs in the real season and 3 home runs and 19 RBIs in the replay. And now we'll start with Chris Iannetta, who was pretty much the starting catcher. 10 home runs and 35 RBIs in the replay, 11 home runs and 36 RBIs in the real season. Also, Tony Wolters, forgot to throw this in, did throw an inning because of a blowout. 1 inning pitched, no earned runs and 2 strikeouts. And then we'll go to Noel Cuevas. 2 home runs and 10 RBIs in the real season, 5 home runs and 10 RBIs in my replay. I'll throw Daniel Castor out there. No home runs and 5 RBIs, but had no home runs and 1 RBI in the in the real season. But I threw him 2 innings, and he gave up an earned run and 2 strikeouts because of a blowout. Let's see where we go from here. Ryan McMahon also way overachieved in the real season. 5 home runs and 19 RBIs. In my replay, 10 home runs and 28 RBIs. All right, so then we're going to go down. I'll run through these quickly. Raimel Tapia, 1 home run and 6 RBIs in the real season, 1 home run, 2 RBIs in my replay. Garrett Hampson, no home runs and 2 RBIs in my replay, no home runs and 4 RBIs in the real season. Tom Murphy, no home runs and 12 RBIs. He did hit 2 home runs in the real season and 11 RBIs. Pat Valaika, equal on both accounts, 2 home runs and 5 RBIs on both sides. Drew Butera underperformed in my replay. Real season, 3 home runs, 21 RBIs. No home runs and 1 RBI in my replay. Matt Holliday had a little more RBI production. 2 home runs and 3 RBIs in the real season. He was a September call-up. And then in my replay, 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. And Mike Tauchman with a RBI, did not have one. He was only playing in April. Somehow did a lot better with the Yankees in 2019. I don't know if he played for them in 2020. All right. Thank you for those who have caught up. Now, for the big announcements. I have sort of been hinting, if you've been following the Retro Sports Network Twitch videos, of what my next replays are going to be, or next projects are going to be. Excuse me. My next 2 projects are going to be, while I fix the light here. In honor of 2 pitchers who passed away, Tom's one Hall of Famer, one not. I will replay Tom Seaver's 1971 starts. And I don't know if I'll do it concurrently or I'll do it after the other one. I will do 1967. Mike McCormick, he won the Cy Young that year and passed away. Also, you'll get to see plenty of Hall of Famers. So I know he's not the most well-known pitcher, but you'll get Willie Mays and Willie McCovey and probably all the other Hall of Fame opponents that he went against. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for watching this recap video and next project announcement. Hopefully I'll get started on those maybe next week or 2. We'll see. And for those of you watching, maybe for the first time, please go back and watch my videos. I either play them on the channel or I recap them in my recap videos. And please make sure if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. And please make sure you hit that like button, help out. And for whatever games you are playing, please play them to the fullest. Have a good day, everybody.